Tom Gray here. Got kind of a little video, just kind of a misdirected thing that I did, but made a video out of it anyway. This is my old 725 Porta Band. I have previous videos on it where I rebuilt it and I made a bench stand for it. But since I've got a new bench stand for my 724, this is back to being a portable bandsaw. But it was leaking. Disadvantage to the 724, 725 is they got gear lube in them, liquid gear lube, so they tend to leak, or they can leak. This one was leaking. So I did a kind of a half a tear in this video. I kind of do a half a tear down of the gearbox here, only to find out that my leak was this little tiny set screw that I completely overlooked and forgot about. So it's kind of a much ado about nothing video. And I also kind of did a homemade strain relief because the strain relief on the cable broke. So it's kind of a little no big deal video, but I did it. It might help you out if you got one of these old timers and it's leaking oil, or if it's got a broken strain relief, or you just want to see what the inside of this looks like back here. I'll link the other video at the end screen that goes into much more detail on the teardown of this thing. But here it goes. Looks like we got a leaker. A little puddle of gear oil. And here's the culprit. It's my old 725 Porta Band. You can see a little drip of gear oil right there. Well, let's dig it out of there, see if I can fix it. First off with the wheel. Oh, first thing, reduce the blade tension and take the blade off. These are number 3 Phillips, so it's the big honking Phillips. They've all got little lock washers on them too, don't lose those. Couple of pry bars. Wheel pops off. Getting this off the chain, this pilot links into the chain sprocket, so it's a little tough coming off. Tire's really loaded up with metal chips. I'll clean that off later. Off comes the chain. Sort of comes off. Let's go up one like that. There we are. Almost. There we go. Okay, there's a little bearing on here. It's nylon. Little nylon bearing. And I suspect the leak is through here because that goes into the gearbox, and that's where the gear lube is. I'm going to take these 2 big honking 5/16 screws out of here. Almost forgot the other big honking 5/16. This also holds the motor housing on. And a real deal 3/8 bolt or 5/16 bolt. I think it's 3/8. You can see my strain relief failed, as they always do. Okay, now the lower wheel housing will come off the gearbox. So flip her upside down again. Oops. Don't forget the blade guard. I don't want to bend that up too badly. Drop the washer. Okay, now the motor housing will come off. I mean, the wheel housing will come off the motor. I'm going to remove the blade guard completely because it's just thin sheet metal. I don't want to bend it or damage it. See how thin that is? Now we'll take off the nameplate. Okay, now I can split these in half. 2 more big honking screws, one there and one there. Okay, now we should come apart. There we are. All right, now we can look for the leak. I don't see any residue. Oh, wait a minute. I don't see any oil coming out of here. I think it would hit that sprocket and get flung all over the place. But I do see oil around the outside, like it's coming from the outside in. And then I flip it over and I realize there's this little set screw. And I see oil residue around it. So I'm wondering if this wasn't leaking from the outside. So I'm going to clean this up, put a little bit of thread sealant on it, and see if that holds back the oil. A Q-tip with a little bit of degreaser on it to clean out the internal threads. Try and get the oil off them. I cleaned up everything else, just wiped off all the oil. Clean up the screw with a little bit of the same degreaser. While I got this apart, while I'm waiting for that to dry up, I'm just going to take off this big monster table that I built and put on a little teeny weeny shoe because I don't use this thing as a portable now. I don't use it as a bench mounted anymore. So take care of that. And I'll clean all this mess up. I'm going to partially reassemble so I don't start losing parts or damaging something. Just shoving the motor. There's a bearing way down at the other end of the motor housing. A bearing boss or a bearing pocket. You can see the bearing right on the end of the motor. Just shoving that back in the bearing pocket. Line it by feel. Like that. And then the 2 big honking motor screws, which are 1/4-20s, go back in Get this all dressed back in. See, this wasn't a very efficient design. A lot of room for improvements, simplification, cost reduction, what have you. But still a great old tool. Got it plugged in, make sure I didn't garf anything up. Yep. Good there. I'm going to put a little bit of red, ultra red sealant on this. I don't know if that's the right stuff to use or not, but that's what I got. I regret this later, but here goes nothing. Let that cure up. All right, it's been a few hours. Bone dry. And there, I left this as like a drip pan and no oil in there either. All right, I think we nailed it. So let's put her back together. First step, I'm just going to take the cleaned up motor housing, put it over the pilot from the gearbox, swing it around, and then put in the two big 3/8 screws. This always happens when you're making videos. You always start fumbling for the hardware and dropping stuff because you're trying to stay out of the way of the camera. And put in the other 3/8 bolt through the handle. At least get it started. Finger tight it. Then I'm going to put on a much smaller shoe that I just gave a very crude yellow paint job to, and the lower bearing, which fastened from the other side via these 1/4-inch bolts. Like that. The nylon washer and the somewhat cleaned up sprocket. The cleaned up lower wheel and tire. I knocked most of the junk off of the tire just with a razor blade. Now you got to get this pilot inside of the inner diameter of the gear, so kind of uses that nylon bearing as a guide. Get whatever that is out of there, and then gingerly snap the wheel down and turn it until the screw holes are aligned like that, and then put in the screws that attach the wheel to the chain sprocket and snug them down. All right, white towards me. Switch button towards you. Just remove the cord. Take off the old strain relief. Which doesn't want to come off. There it goes. And I'm going to put a piece of heat shrink over the end of the power cord. I'm going to make my own little strain relief out of a couple of tie wraps. I don't have the right size strain relief, and I don't want to wait to get it, so now I'm going to reinstall the power cord and switch. Reattach the ground. I'm going to make sure this bolt is snug while I'm here. It is. Get the switch back in place. Make sure that that is aligned to that screw hole, because that's one of the handle screws goes through there. And our homemade strain relief is a little tie wrap in this pocket right here. Get it good and tight. And a big tie wrap on the inner part of the casting. Like there. Okay, make sure that's good and tight. Snip off the ends. There we go. And reinstall other half of handle. All right, got her plugged in. Righteous. Okay, put the blade back on. Here's one difference between the 724 and the 7724, or 725. This is 725. 724 is just single speed version of this. The blade bearings. This one, the blade runs up against the blade mount and one bearing, and then a thrust bearing on the back. On the 7724, there's two bearings here and a bearing on the back. It's a better setup. This is fewer parts, but that one's probably a little smoother. I'll put a link to a 7724 rebuild at the end screen or in the description. So blade's back on. It's tracking beautiful. Let's cut something. This is just a couple of pieces of junk 14 gauge angle that I welded together. Just, I don't know why, but look a little too long. So let's cut them down. Well, even though this was kind of a not much special project, I still fixed an oil leak and fixed a broken cord or broken strain relief. So I'm still going to call it a success. And it's on to the next project. I'll see you there and then.